Hey guys, this is Hazards 280 again, coming at you today with a 2015 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 series. This one is a LT trim level with the Z71 package. Now this one may differ slightly from the ones that you see at your local dealership, as the owner of this vehicle has made some modest changes to it as they purchased it. Now mind you, this is only a few weeks old, so it only has about 700 miles on it. He does have a 2-inch leveling kit, 20% tinted windows in the front 2 windows, and the lower valance here has been removed for additional clearance. Taking a quick walk around in the vehicle, you can see the badging up front has been blackened by a Plastidip product. This allows the owner to black out the products, but allow the textures to remain present as they're tinted, but also it can be easily removed. So if you tint it, you don't like it, or you want to change it in the future, you can easily remove that. The LT does offer 18-inch alloy rims. Silverados do have this step here, which is nice. It allows easier access up into the bed. The LT does also have the easy lower gate. LED lighting in the underbody of the bed. This is Plastidipped. Well, it's not Plastidipped, excuse me, it's a factory bed liner. It does have a really good look to it. No complaints. As far as the factory liners go, I think GM did a wonderful job here. You do have your standard receptacles here for towing. Access to your spare tire plate and your proper towing package. Here's your factory remote. You do have lock, unlock, remote start, and then a standard key. Okay, let's take a look inside. Now looking at the inside of the 2015 Silverado, you can see the quality of the materials as well as how it's laid out has improved greatly upon previous generations. Softer touch materials up top, a larger navigation screen, easy to read layouts. I like the way they display the temperatures here on these dials. It's very nice. Reminds me a lot of the Buick Enclaves. They have a similar item there. You have nice buttons here, really great feeling. This is, for instance, the light to the truck bed, traction control, and hill descent control. Now this is one of the options that are found on the Z71. Here you can see you do have your dual climate. If you don't want to sync them and you want to have individual climates, you can do that. Although by pressing sync, they will match temperatures across both people. You do have heated seats here. Now one of the things that might surprise you about that is these are actually cloth. This particularly is the first vehicle I've ever seen with cloth. Now it may have been something trending in the past couple of years, but I do like that you can have these cloth seats, which typically offer a little bit more comfortable seating in the mornings, especially in the winter months here in Michigan. So it's nice to see. Upon driving over here, I turned these on and the seats quickly warmed up and felt great. So I'm glad to see that we're getting some of the luxuries that are typically found with leather seats found in a cloth option. Looking ahead, you do have LED lighting on the inside. Steering wheel controls here do allow for a variety of changes in your cluster. The Z71 also does have this special gauge I guess, background and packaging. So you do have your tach, your speedometer, your oil pressure, your fuel left, or your fuel remaining, excuse me, fuel gauge, I guess, and your coolant temp and battery voltage. And everything does have a nice solid feel. There's no creaks, no rattles when driving. It just feels very well put together, which is great to see here. You have a nice center console here, which does lift up to allow you to have your full bench seat. And coming across, you do have a upper storage point, which you do have a USB storage, or USB media input for your radio here, which is quite nice. So if I were to go to media and come off the satellite, you have your USB drive, and you can turn on a song here. It's real nice, and the browsing options for it are great too. So so you have all your songs, and if you have a lot, I mean, anybody that's had a touchscreen here knows that they are a bugger to go through. So with this dial, you can really quickly fly through them, kick on the song, and you're all set. So works out nice. I just really like this interface. It's a lot better than the ones that were found in, like the 2007 and 2012 Tahoes, Suburbans. They just seemed really dated. The screens were pixelated, slow to react. This, you can see the quality going up closer, is phenomenal. There's no, the phone's having trouble focusing here, but you just don't see the pixels that you see in most screens anymore. So it just is well put together. It looks nice. Great respect there. So you do have your upper storage, lower storage here, both of those, and this does have the optional Bose audio option. So I've personally listened to this radio at higher volumes than what we have here, and it sounds great. Great bass, great treble. The vocals sound great. It's a nice balanced system. No complaints there. It's definitely an option that I would sprout for had I purchased this truck. You do have a manual gear select as well as a towing option. And putting this vehicle into reverse, you do have a rear backup camera. Trailer gains are here, right from the factory. You do have a 4-wheel drive option for auto, 4 high, and 4 low, just for the switch of a button. This does have a automatic locking rear diff. Again, that's an option with the LT. Automatic headlights and fog lights here. I'll kick those on just so you can see what those look like. Coming to the rear, there is plentiful space. I have sat in here personally, and I am 5'9", and I don't have any complaints. You can see the seat is back quite a ways, and I do have clearance here for my legs. And again, the driver could put their seat up quite a ways and be just fine. Great comfort, headroom. I have a solid 6 to 8 inches remaining. Now let's see how the 5.3 liter V8 sounds with the stock exhaust. Okay, now that you guys have heard the exhaust, let's take a quick look at the engine bay. I did just pop the hood, so that's not a normal gap you got there. Now earlier in the video I did pop open turn on the headlights and fog lamps, so that's what you're looking at in the front. And these videos will be a little bit shorter this time around. I know my previous videos are typically around 25-30 minutes, but trying to shorten them up a little bit. I know you guys got a lot to do, so hopefully this makes life a little easier. This is the 5.3 liter Ecotec V8 engine. The Z71 does offer a slightly upgraded intake. It is quiet. I'm quite impressed, because with this being a direct injection engine, typically you hear a little bit more pinging, but you really don't hear anything. So they did well there. Now this engine does offer 355 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 383 foot-pounds of torque at 4,100 RPM. This offers 16 city, 22 highway, and with the 26-gallon fuel tank, you should get quite a ways before you need to stop at that fuel station again. Coming around to the rear, I do want to share one more option that you'll see with the Z71. And that's a slightly upgraded suspension you get as well. So you'll see you do have Rancho, I believe that's the RS 5000 shocks underneath, and you do have skid plates. So going off-road, you're not going to be as concerned about tearing up anything underneath the vehicle. Okay guys, I did want to give you a brief idea of what it looks like to actually drive this vehicle. You know, some of the acoustics that you hear inside, some of the noise that comes through, but also, you know, how it sounds upon just acceleration. I'm not going to accelerate quickly with this vehicle because it is new and it hasn't been properly broken yet, but it's just something I'd like to, you know, share with you for the time being. I'm just going to take off under kind of a standard conditions here. Now the noise inside is very quiet. You know, in the 2011 Grand Cherokee that I own, you can see in the videos there, I would actually compare this directly to that. It sounds pretty much the same inside. Great acoustics. You're not getting a lot of the noise vibration and harshness that you get out of typical vehicles, especially pickup trucks. So the Grand Cherokee being, you know, an SUV, I would expect it to be a little bit quieter, but really these sound very close. So definitely sounds great in my opinion. Coming to a stop here. Great pedal feel. It's not very squishy. It definitely gives you that feeling of confidence behind the wheel. So no complaints there in that department. So yeah, great respect, Chevrolet. You build a great truck here. No complaints. You know, I think the pickup truck market is very competitive right now. So I think, you know, Ford, GM, and you know, Dodge, or excuse me, Ram, I guess that's what they want to call it nowadays. You know, all have to do a great job in any pickup truck they build because of that competition. So I think GM really came ahead in this game and created a vehicle here that's very competitive with Ford and Dodge. Ram, sorry. Old habits die hard. All right. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to comment below. I'm always glad to answer anything. I can typically stop and take a look at this vehicle anytime. It's not personally owned by me, but a close family member. So we'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Again, please leave in the comments below. We will have more videos coming up soon, the F-150 and a Jeep Renegade, in fact, as well. So please subscribe and let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.